Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be. Good Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. You already know what this one's gonna be. Instant classic in the making. First time to the channel, guys. Make sure you subscribe, notify, do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the good dash content. All of my good stuff should be listed in the links in the description area below. Ladies and gentlemen, as the world, or at least the Philippines for that matter, is starting to try to get back to some normalcy, and we're starting to see these relaxed restrictions on travel, and we're starting to see different places reopening. I would be remiss if I didn't give you guys this particular video. So I wanted to talk to you guys real quick about how much would it cost for us to fly to the Philippines today. And I'm trying to encourage you guys to go ahead and get your money up so that you can go ahead and prepare for whatever price these particular tickets are going to cost you during this time. So as you guys know, man, we are in the travel season, December, Christmas time. You already know to expect a heavier price tag on that, and even the early parts of January. Only towards the end of January will you start to see prices somewhat tinker off and get back to some sort of normalcy. But for this particular video today, we're not going to talk about traveling tomorrow. We're going to talk about travel during the specific time that I believe the Philippines is going to open up. And anybody who's ever watched any of my videos in the recent past, at least the last recent travel update video, you guys will know that I said, look, I'm expecting travel to try to get back to some normalcy roughly about June or July of 2021. So what I did is I've chosen to utilize two travel websites, two of the more popular travel websites, to compare prices based on the cheapest possible price that they could give me on tickets flying to the Philippines. All right, so the date that we're going to set for our particular set travel time is going to be June of 2022, June 1st of 2022 to return on June 31st. We'll say a complete month of 2022. So we're going to spend, hypothetically, an entire month in the country round trip. Of course, you know I'm broke. I don't know if it's that I'm broke or if I'm cheap, but you know I'm flying economy. But you can expect it if you're a business class or a first class type of flyer. Add a couple $1,000s to this particular price. But we're definitely going to utilize that travel date, traveling economy, one particular passenger. But we're going to utilize the two more popular websites that we've talked about, cheapoair, which is my favorite, and then Skyscanner. And we're going to see what these prices are, and we're going to do a little quick dive into exactly what we can expect during the travel experience with these particular flights, with the details involved. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, ladies and gentlemen. As I'm looking at my screen right here, I'm seeing that if you type in the details, as we talked about, again, guys, RDU, which is where I'm flying out of, Raleigh-Durham, because I'm in the great state of North Kakalaki, to Manila, on the June 1st, returning on the June 31st, travel dates, one traveler coach, it says that the cheapest price that I could possibly get right now, if I decided to get my ticket today to fly out at that later date, would be $1,236 and some change. All right, so we'll just round up to $1,237. All right, it has me utilizing American Airlines as my flight. Going to the country, I have a layover in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I also have a layover in Tokyo. The stop one layover is only an hour and 45 minutes. Not bad at all. The stop to the layover in Narita, which is in Tokyo, Japan, is going to be a 3-hour layover. A little bit too much for my taste, but hey, it's just a little layover, and I think it's a necessary sacrifice if, you know, I'm going to be flying to a country that I've been waiting to get back to for a long time. All right, so we're looking at a total layover time of about, 4 hours and 45 minutes, right? If the flights aren't delayed, we're looking at a 4-hour and 45-minute layover time, traveling from the United States to Manila. Okay, utilizing American Airlines. It says that our total travel time, including the layovers, is 25 hours, so a little over a day worth of traveling. I know that could be a lot for foreigners, which is why I know this is one of the main reasons why you don't necessarily see a lot of guys traveling to the Philippines, because of how long the flight actually is for most people. It could be a lot. I understand that, but to me, it's worth it. And to a lot of guys, they'll tell you that it's worth it as well. All right, so that's what it says. We got some, actually, for this particular flight, they have alternate dates. This is the reason why it's cheaper. So basically, I would be flying out Tuesday, May 31st on this particular flight. That is the cheapest. And I will also be flying back on Tuesday, June 28th. So it seems like my vacation time just kind of slightly shifted from, the 31st. So I might arrive there on the 1st. And on the way back, I'm coming back at least 2 to 3 days earlier, right? I don't know how you guys feel about that one, but for the price that they're offering for at least a good month stay, rounded out, 1,200 round trip. And I don't think that's bad. Don't think that's bad at all. If you scroll down a little bit more, they have $1,300. Same flight time, it looks like, back and forth. So you're not really getting anything different if you choose to, basically choose the one that's a little bit more expensive, right? So the cheapest one here, $1,237, $1,237, utilizing cheapoair. Now, let's slide on over to good old Skyscanner, because I've had a lot of people say, Doc, man, Skyscanner's cheaper, man. Skyscanner's better than cheapoair. And I'm like, okay. Let's hypothetically mash this one out, because maybe it's cheap for you guys and maybe it works better for you guys because of where you're traveling from. Again, I'm traveling out of Raleigh-Durham International Airport, RDU, in North Carolina. If you're flying out of Chicago, which is an international hub, or somewhere down in Texas, I think Houston is the international hub. I believe maybe it's Dallas that's the international hub. The ATL, Atlanta is an international hub, and I think Detroit is, and then of course New York, JFK. These are your international hubs. So if you're already there and you're flying directly from there, trust me, I do believe that you'll get better prices as opposed to me traveling from where I'm at right now in order to get to these particular international hub airports to take me out of the country. Okay, so sliding on over to Skyscanner, which is where you guys are telling me, Doc, you need to get your tickets, man. If we look at the cheapest ticket, the cheapest ticket tells me that it's going to be $1,271. All right, so that's a difference of what? So we're looking at $1,237 on my cheapoair versus the $1,271. So what, about a couple dollars, $30, $40 or something, give or take. If I'm going to slide over to Skyscanner. Okay, not too much of a difference in price, but let's see the travel itinerary, right? Let's see how this travel itinerary breaks down for us so that we can utilize it. Okay, off the rip, I can't do Skyscanner. Because if you look at it, it says when I get to Tokyo, I have to change airports. For what? You mean to tell me that I'm going to arrive at one airport and change over to another airport? No, thank you. And it's going to cost me a little bit more. I'm good, bro. And that's going both ways, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to Manila and coming back from Manila. The exact same round trip ticket is going to have me changing airports twice. Look, man, I don't know Tokyo that well, man, and I don't feel comfortable trying to dialogue with a taxi or a shuttle or whatever it may be that I have to use in a country that I'm not familiar with to try to get to another airport, all right? And it looks like my layover time, 2 stops, Dallas and Tokyo, it's not necessarily telling me how much my layover time is. I'm not seeing it right now, but yeah, that's what it's looking like, ladies and gentlemen. And for $1,271, you're a little bit more expensive for me, and you're also going to make me try to change airports again. No, thank you. All right, absolutely, no, thank you. All right, but the next price that comes out after that is $1,302. No change of airports, 2 different stops, utilizing Japan Airlines. Yeah. They're both utilizing Japan Airlines. Even the first one utilized Japan Airlines and JetBlue as well. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to just stick with cheapoair. Just again, these are hypotheticals, man. This doesn't necessarily mean that things can't change. This doesn't necessarily mean that Skyscanner is worse than cheapoair. It's just that for me and what benefits me, cheapoair seems to be the website that's going to give me the most benefit, right? They're not talking about changing airports. They're not talking about any of that jazz. But what I also want you to take into consideration is we got to get our money up, ladies and gentlemen, because for me, it looks like I might be spending anywhere around $1,300 at the top end for a ticket if I bought one today. Okay, and that's not bad. I mean, for a lot of people, if you're flying out of LAX, you can definitely expect it to be a little bit more cheaper. I think that I saw a direct flight from LAX to Manila, or maybe one stop. I was seeing ticket prices anywhere around like 5, 6, 700 back in the day. Again, this was before, the situation we're dealing with right now was upon us. But, I was seeing travel tickets costing a little bit around those price ranges. I know it was definitely less than like $700, $800. It was less than that, right? So if you're flying out of the LA region, it could be a little bit cheaper for you. Another alternative that I would look into, I don't recommend it at all because I did it before and it kind of almost backfired, but I split tickets. I did. Trying to fly from this place to this place at this price, bam, and then trying to connect to my next flight, bam, through the airport. I was trying to do ticket splicing or ticket slicing, or rather than getting one direct flight ticket that had me booking all that stuff, I would check it at my next location and next airport for my next flight, right? And that didn't necessarily turn out that was not the greatest of ideas because, time frames, flight times and stuff like that, having to take into account delays, if any, and all of that stuff, man. If you don't have enough layover time to really get to your next destination while you're trying to hoof it or book it through an airport and you miss your flight, it's on you, bruh. You SOL on that cash. Gotta have that in mind too. So when you guys are starting to travel and really starting to get back to this, I want you guys to at least have these things in your mental. I want you guys to at least think about all of the worst case scenario situations that could happen. That way you're preparing for them. And I'm praying that you've been listening to me for the last year and some change. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. But I've been preaching from day one, you got to get your money up, man, because you never know. You just never know. And right now, there is no better opportunity than the present to get your shit together, right? There's no better opportunity than the present. Back when I was preaching it earlier on, I was talking about all the stimulus checks they were giving out and how you guys should have been utilizing your stimmies, what you should have been doing with it. And I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but I was just telling you all the things I was doing, investing in the stock market, saving it and, putting it towards my tickets and stuff like that. So, I put away that money specifically for that reason, right? And like I said, I can't tell you what you did with your payroll protection. If you guys have businesses and stuff like that, or you were collecting unemployment, whatever you guys are doing, whatever was making it worth your time or making it worthwhile, I don't know what you were doing with it, but I pray you was getting your shit together, because eventually the time's going to come when travel's going to open up. And I don't want you to be asked out on the sidelines, looking at that nice little Gucci belt that you bought for yourself, or, them Nikes or them J's that you just had to have and shit, because you had your stimmy money and you just had to spend it in a moment. I don't want you looking at me like, Doc, man, when are we gonna be able to go to the Philippines, bro? I've had people saying that shit. Like, I'll be like, yo, man, get your shit together, man, and the next year come holler at me. And I holler at y'all the next year. Y'all be like, well, man, I ain't got it, bro. I just ain't got it. I don't want you to be that guy. Don't be him. Don't be that I ain't got it guy. Or you ready to go and shit, and this dude over here, just trying to find every excuse in the book of why he can't go. I don't want you to be that guy. Don't make excuses, ladies and gentlemen. There is no better time than a moment to get your ish together. I pray that you can. All right? So as long as you can get that in and get that right, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at potential flight prices. Again, I'm only focusing on myself, but you can go to Skyscanner, you can go to cheapoair, and you can sit there and be like, yo, man, let me go ahead and check this out for myself, man. Let me see what my flights are looking like right now, how much I'm looking to spend in a moment, man. And let me see if I got it like that, or how long is it going to take me to get to this price. As you know, the closer the trip gets, it might get a little bit more expensive, or it could get a little bit cheaper. I don't know. You just have to take all of that into consideration, man. Think about the time frame in which you're going to buy your ticket. Usually about the time that I used to buy my ticket, it would be when I got my tax return, probably right after February, March. During that time, that was when I usually prepared myself to get my money back. But again, guys, I don't know what your lifestyle is like. I don't know what's going on, but I want you guys to be prepared regardless. I want you guys to be ready regardless. And as long as you guys are ready, I'll be there too. And I'll see y'all on the other side. Feel me? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun, it has been real, but it's time for me to go and get to getting, because I've talked too much. And with that being said, man, Good Doc is officially out. At least not go by alone, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahakita. Mabuhay. Peace.